As we journey towards the centenary celebrations of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, each day offers us the blessing to reflect upon his mission of love, unity, and service to humanity. At a time when the world is divided by boundaries of caste, creed, and community, the call for unity has never been stronger. And today, we are honored to welcome a spiritual leader who embodies this very essence of unity. This morning's speaker is Sheikh Qasem Bader, President of the Universal Peace Council, hailing from Jerusalem, Israel. A seeker from the Druze tradition, Sheikh Qasem's journey began with a profound moment of silence during hardship, a realization that true peace begins within. Since then, his life has been dedicated to building bridges of understanding across faiths, cultures, and nations. Through interfaith dialogue, peace forums, and humanitarian missions in conflict zones, Sheikh Qasem has dedicated his life to uniting people across religions, cultures, and nations. He believes that peace is not merely the absence of conflict, but a way of life rooted in justice, dignity, and mutual respect. Sheikh Qasem's presence is described in 3 words: peaceful, inclusive, and grounded. His life stands as a testimony that true leadership comes not from authority, but from humility, empathy, and service. He'll be addressing us, and his message will invite us to look at humanity as one family, diverse yet deeply connected.
Good morning to you all. First of all, it's my honor to be here today, to be with you. We arrived yesterday from the Holy Land, from Jerusalem, to be with you today. And it's my honor to explain for you about my community and my religion, from where we came, who they are, the Druze, and what we believe. But I feel that I am a student in this holy school because when I study about the principles of the holy man, Sai Baba, about the principles how to make this world more better and how to build the future of our new generations, I feel that we are talking about the Druze and At-Tawheed. When we are talking about the Druze community and the Druze faith, in Arabic, our faith called Tawheed. In Arabic, Wahid. Tawheed is one God, that we believe that one God created this world as one family. And it looks like the family, one father with the 2 children, 4 children, but all the children are brothers to this father. I came from the Middle East, which called the Holy Land. But unfortunately, it's not the Holy Land, because if we say the Holy Land, should be the Holy Land most safety place in the world. The Holy Land should be without borders, without wars, and to hit each other and to kill each other. Jerusalem is the most holy city in the world. And Arabic, Jerusalem called Quds. The word Quds is holy. And if we make these letters different, we have Sidq. Sidq is a truth. Jerusalem is the truth of this world. But unfortunately, we can see what happened today in our Holy Land. I said always in my lectures around the world, and I meet religious leaders around the world, I always said that our life is 3 days. It's yesterday, it's today, and tomorrow. Yesterday is over. No one in this world can bring yesterday. Today is going to be over also. We have only tomorrow. And how can we save the tomorrow in our life? The Tawheed belief to save tomorrow should rise in new generation. In new generation around the world, what I see here, this is the hope of the peace. This is the hope. How can we save tomorrow? Only by you, by these youth people, by these youth people who go with the white and with the different colors, the ladies. And this is my hope. I really came to here very tired yesterday because my community also in Syria, if you listen to the news, have been thousands of people have been killed. Why? Because they belong to different faith, to different religion. But we have one God, we have one Father. Why we killed each other? Therefore, in our Holy Land, we are suffering. We are suffering by the hate speeches. I want to tell you, my main mission in this world, I believe always, I should fight against the hate speeches. And what is the hate speeches? The hate speech is religious people from different countries, from different religions, take the Holy Scriptures, and they became to explain these Holy Scriptures wrong, and they became to kill each other under the name of God and under the name of the religion. This is the most dangerous thing today in the world, the hate speeches. And if we look to the religions, to the prophets, Jethro is a Nabi Shu'aib. Jethro, father-in-law of the prophet Moses, came to this world before 3,300 years and began to preach for one family, for one world. After that, Moses came to this world with the Bible. How can we live together? Have to build one family and one world. Jesus also was suffering, also have been killed. And when they were kill him, he asked God, God, forgive these people what they are doing. And the Prophet Muhammad came to this world with a message, Minka ya Mawlana salam, wa ilayka ya'ud salam. The peace from God, and will come back to God. Therefore, if we look to these Holy Scriptures, one message, one spirit is peace and to be one family. Why we, the descendants of these prophets, why we hate each other and why we fight against each other. Therefore, the hate speeches is the most dangerous thing today. At Tawheed, always, we came from Egypt in the 11th century. During to the reign of the Fatimic ruler, the Druze, called Druze, by the name of one preacher who called Darazi, and the name came from these preachers, and they we adopted, let's say, this name Druze from 1,000 years. We have holy scriptures, and our holy scriptures have been written by handwriting, and only for the religious people who can convert to become religious man or religious woman is allowed to these people to study this knowledge and to study this wisdom. It's not easy to hold these holy scriptures and to study the wisdom of the prophets who have been established our religion in the 11th century. Therefore, our community around the world is divided into two groups. There is the religious people and there is the secular people. But I want to tell you, we don't have separation life in the daily life, which is mean we live together, religious and secular, men and women in the same family, in the same community. We don't have any separation because we believe also this separation is lead the community to bad relations, not to good relations. Therefore, we come back to be united, to be one family. Like this place we have in Lebanon, there is a high religious college in Lebanon with graduate all the new generation by studies the wisdom about this world. But unfortunately, in the Middle East, there is wars, and it was not allowed for religious or Druze people to move from Israel to Lebanon to Syria and to study. Therefore, we are suffering by the borders. The borders separate our families. The borders separate the communities. There is wars. And when war happens in the Middle East, we can see Druze from Israel fight against Druze from Lebanon, against Druze from Syria. But we are in the wrong place because we came to this world not to fight. We came to live, to respect. There is big difference between respect and belief. If we adopt this principle by Tawheed, I respect your faith, but I believe in my way, we can live together. I respect your faith, I respect your prayer, and I believe in my way. It's not allowed for me to kill someone if he did not believe in my way. This is the problem today in the world. Let's raise our new generation, our new children, our new families to respect each other. Therefore, the Druze around the world, throughout the history, always they respect all the religions, all the faiths, and they respect all the communities and the nations. We don't believe in wars. We believe that we came to this world with a mission. Every man, every woman in this world born with a mission. What is our mission in this world? To be rich people? To have a lot of money? To have a lot of expensive cars? No. Our mission is to correct our souls. This is the mission. I cannot correct the soul of my wife. I cannot correct the soul of my children. I raise my children. I respect my wife. But I can only, it's so difficult for me to correct my soul. And to correct our soul, I can live 100 years. Maybe I can succeed and maybe I cannot succeed. Therefore, if every man and woman in this world correct her soul, there is no wars in this world. No one hate each other because I am always correct my soul. To correct the soul, look like what see in the short video, to support the poor people, to support each other. I make a short tour before I came to here, and I saw hospital, school. These two things, the hospitals and the schools. School is education, and hospital is to support the poor people. This is what is the mission, the holy mission of this place. And I think all the world should come to this place to see what you are doing, to see. I see in the hospital Muslim women, Christian man, maybe Druze in the future. They came to, there is no, where you belong, you are a human man. You are a human being. Therefore, this faith, these principles to help every man, every woman in the world, this is the holy mission. And this way can we correct our souls. If you go to sleep, the Tawheed says you have to think for 3 things that you do in your day. First of all, which good thing you do today, continue to do tomorrow. Bad thing or wrong things you do today, delete it tomorrow. And good thing you cannot do it, continue to do it tomorrow and go to sleep. This is the judgment day for every man in every day. Every day there is a judge. You have to make with your soul spiritual discourses. What I do today, where I cannot help, why I did not help. Sometimes people ask me, Qasem, why you help the people all the day, every man, every woman who call you, you are going and help these people. I say to him, because God approached him to come to my door. If you closed your door before men and women came and asked you to help, you will be in very bad situation after Judgment Day. Help, support, respect, and invest in the educations. Really, I have no words, because what I see here, my eyes, and there is one spiritual leader in our community one day asked the children and the students, what is the descendants or the distance between truth and wrong? He said 4 fingers. Put 4 fingers between the eye and the ear. What you said and what you see, this is the truth. What you heard, it's not truth. Therefore, I want from you in the future really to judge the man and the women by the eye, not by the ear. And our communities in the East are suffering by this faith. And therefore, I believe that if we can build in the future one family, but to respect each other by the religion, because there is a lot of people understand one family in one world against the religions and the Holy Scriptures. And I face this thing in many states around the world and countries that I came to share or to be in one conference. They believe that we're going to make the world without religions. No. The religions and the Holy Scriptures are holy. Let's respect the Holy Scriptures, keep the Holy Scriptures, and to respect each other and to believe in my way. I came to 2 days, but I think I will remain here all of my life. All my life, I think that all my life I will be here, because this is the spirituality and the quiet and the silence and the faces that I am facing here for the students, for the teachers, for the people, for the ladies, our sisters. I think if heaven like this place, it's great. Therefore, I believe that I came to heaven for two days, and I want to really thank all the people who have chosen me to come to here, to stand, to speak, and to meet you. And I hope that we are going to meet in the future a lot of times, because I have been connected to this place, connected to these people, connected to this holy mission, to His Holiness Sai Baba. I think that we should adopt this education and to preach this education around the world. Thank you for your listening to me, and I hope that we are going to meet each other in future a lot of times. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Now, we request the Vice Chancellor of our university, Professor Srikantamurthy, to kindly extend a token of our love and appreciation to Sheikh Qasem Bader. We shall now pause for a short 15-minute break. After the break, we will reconvene for Satya Darpan, the lectures on the Ashtavakra Gita by Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai. Om Shri Sai Ram, offering our deepest gratitude at the divine lotus feet of Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai. During yesterday's enlightening discourse, Sadhguru beautifully expounded upon the third shloka of the Ashtavakra Gita. He reminded us of the eternal truth that we are not merely the physical body composed of the 5 elements, but the pure, unchanging consciousness that lies as a witness to the body and mind. Sadhguru also urged all of us to practice the Drikdrishya Viveka of Vidyaranya Swamiji. Now, may I request Shri B.N. Narsimhamurthy sir to address all of us, please.
Most adorable Master Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, brothers and sisters, very dear students, boys and girls. Ashtavakra Gita, as explained already by Sadhguru, is all about practice. It is an Anushtana Grantha. Every teaching needs to be practiced. Of course, it's so with all the scriptures, but the highest truths are put in the simplest language possible in the Ashtavakra Gita as compared to any of the Prasthanatraya scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, or Brahma Sutras. If you need to understand Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and Brahma Sutra, to a great extent, even the language is not very simple. Of course, sometimes some of these shlokas may be simple, but you need help to understand. But here, Ashtavakra Gita, the language is so very simple, even basic knowledge of Sanskrit will make you understand what Ashtavakra is trying to teach. Therefore, it is all about practice. In the first shloka, Janaka asks the 10, 12-year-old guru. Janaka must be 80, 90 years by that time. And he prays with great humility and Shraddha, sincerity of purpose. I want to know about moksha, liberation. I want to know about jnana, the ultimate wisdom. I want to know how to cultivate vairagya, that is detachment. He straightaway says that only a man of virtues, only a person with character can attain liberation without giving up bad habits. That's why he says, Vishayan Vishavat Tyaja. The worldly pleasures we need to give up as if, reject as if it is poison. That's what Swami Vivekananda said. Anything that weakens you physically, mentally, intellectually, or spiritually is poison. Reject it. That's what he said. Exactly same thing. Unless you are grounded in good, strong character, strength of mind, there is no way you can proceed on the spiritual path. And he explains, 5 qualities which every spiritual aspirant needs to practice. And Ashtavakra himself is the very embodiment, very personification of Arjava, one of the 5 qualities he teaches. Arjava is straightforwardness, complete integrity, oneness of thought, word, and mind. Ashtavakra is straightforward, and every sentence, every word he uses needs to be practiced. And yesterday's third shloka, straight away Ashtavakra says, all that you need to do is, you have to do some self-analysis or self-inquiry. Look into yourself. You are not the body, you are not the mind. You are pure consciousness. All that you need to know to get liberated is to get established in the experience that I am pure consciousness, I am not the body, I am not the mind. And Sadhguru yesterday also gave the instruction that we need to practice what Vidyaranya Muni, the great sage Vidyaranya, one of the heads of the Mata, Sringeri Mata, he said, Drugdrushya Viveka, you analyze. That Sadhguru has explained and wanted each and every one of us to practice. When we practice, why we are not able to practice is the first question. Suppose, many of us would have tried, and Swami wanted every one of us to try. When we try, why we don't reach the logical end in experience? See, intellectually, all of us know, I am not the body, I am not the mind. But have we experienced that we are pure consciousness, not body and mind? And I'm only a witness to body and mind. Body and mind are there. There is no way of denying that body and mind. We can't say they don't exist. They do exist. They do exist. But can I be a witness to my own body and my own mind like I am witness to others' bodies? Others' minds, definitely we can't see. Therefore, he taught us a logical way in which we can do it. But what comes in the way is, there are two things which come in the way. One is our worldly attachments and desires. Desires and attachments for the world, they don't allow the mind to focus inside, because the senses and mind always go outside. The second is, even if you are able to, analyze, take your mind inside, try to establish it in pure consciousness, you may succeed for a few seconds, maybe a few minutes, if you are really practiced very well. But real problem is, how do we establish ourselves there at the level of pure consciousness is the question. Only difference between an ignorant person, ajnani, and a jnani is that for a jnani, the mind is always rooted in consciousness. Whereas for an ignorant person, consciousness is always rooted in the mind. See, that is why our consciousness is our mind. So we can't see beyond our body and mind. Whereas a jnani, he has that ability, whenever he wants, or all the time, he can establish himself in pure consciousness, looking at body and mind as a witness. See, that is the only difference. Therefore, the fickleness of mind and the desires and attachments come in the way. That's why we are not able to do. Otherwise, we can also do. Then what do we do with it? Then yesterday, Sadhguru gave us a very simple solution, quoting Adi Shankaracharya. See, most of us, our minds are not completely pure. So how do we go about it? Adi Shankara said, for attaining purity of mind, you have to do selfless work. All of us do work, but most of us, we are ego-centered, self-centered. So do selfless work to attain purity of mind, so that, mind gets detached from worldly desires and worldly attachments. And then second is, follow bhakti or upasana for getting rid of the fickleness of mind. Purity of mind through selfless work. And fickleness of mind can be got rid of by Ishtadevata dhyana, meditation or upasana on the chosen form of God. Whatever form of God we choose, it can be anything. Therefore, this is a universal teaching applicable to all religions. You can choose whichever form of God you love and focus your mind with bhakti, with love. That is very important. When you do that, fickleness also will go away. And then you finally attain the ultimate spiritual wisdom by self-inquiry, self-analysis, or a jnana marga. A statement of truth from any of the scriptures of any religion is okay, whichever you love. Like say, Aham Brahmasmi, I am divine. I am Atma Brahma. My individual soul is nothing but the Paramatma, the universal soul. Or Prajnanam Brahma, pure consciousness is God. Any statement, you do manana and nididhyasana. Contemplate. See, when you have a pure mind, When you have a steady mind without fickleness, usually you can do that contemplation on one statement of truth. And all these statements from any scriptures of any religion have a potency to manifest themselves when you contemplate on them. They manifest as truth. You experience it. They dawn. See, it is not like other statements or facts of any other thing. This statement, like I am divine, with a pure mind, with a steady mind, you contemplate for a few minutes, it dawns. You experience it. See, that is nididhyasana. And these statements of truth are not for chanting. Many people asked me previously when Sadhguru said, this is the easiest mantra, Aham Brahmam Sarvam Brahma. I am divine, everything is divine. Some people came and asked me how many times we have to chant it. See, it is not for chanting, it is for realization. Suppose you are given the name of God for japa, say some name, you are initiated into some name by your guru, that is for chanting with love. But these statements on the Jnana Marga, they are for realization, not for chanting. That's what we need to understand. If you keep on chanting any number of times, the wisdom is not going to dawn. You need to contemplate on what it means. And when the purity of mind is there, when you don't have fickleness of mind, steadiness is there, these truths dawn. See, that is the divine design. So that is the path which Sadhguru has been teaching, and we are all very, very fortunate that we are able to listen to the highest wisdom from a person who has realized it. See, that's very important. You and I can speak by studying scriptures, quote, but when it has become a manifest experience, a man of realization, a Brahmajnani, see, he can speak with the authority with which Sadhguru is speaking to us. We are all very, very fortunate. With these words, I conclude and pray to Sadhguru to continue to teach us Ashtavakra Gita with compassion. Thank you very much. Sai Ram.
We'll chant Sahana Bhavatu mantra.
Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
In the process of learning, there are two, the teacher and the disciple. And the qualification of both to be capable of learning and teaching is very important. If you have a good teacher but a bad student, or if you have a good student but a bad teacher, knowledge will not happen. Both have to be equally qualified. We saw the qualification of the teacher is that he lives the knowledge. He is the very embodiment of the knowledge that he is teaching. It's not a borrowed knowledge, but it is his experiential reality. Ashtavakra is like that. He experiences the truth, so he is able to speak about it so authentically. In our scriptures, they say a guru should have certain qualifications, and one of the qualifications is Brahmanishtha. He is very established, is established in the very idea that he is divine and everything is divine. There is no doubt in his mind about it. He is completely experiencing it, so he is knowing it. Like we don't have a doubt about ourselves. If I tell you, are you a girl or a boy? Do you have a doubt? You will say, I am a girl. You will say, I am a boy. Because you are that, so you know that. Are you a woman or a man? You will say, I am a woman because I know it. If I ask you, how do you know that you are a woman? You say, what do you mean? I am a woman because I am a woman. By being a woman, I know I am a woman. Like that, by being a man, I know I am a man. Likewise, Ashtavakra, by being in that consciousness, he knows, or being the consciousness, he knows that he is the consciousness. So he can speak so easily about it. Now, Janaka's qualification is what? He is a Shraddhavan. He has great Shraddha and sincerity in learning the truth. He is not simply asking for the sake of it. Some children are there in the class. Just to impress the teacher, they prepare and come and then ask questions. But Janaka is not like that. He has already heard a lot about scriptures from various rishis. And he is very keen on learning more about the truth and wants to experience it. But where he has stopped short of realizing it, he has heard it, Shrotavyam, he has heard it, Mantavyam, he has also contemplated on it. But Nididhyasitavyam, the practice of it has not yet happened for Janaka. Now imagine Janaka who has done so many yajna yagas, looked after the welfare of all his people, ran a kingdom with justice and fairness. Such a person is still struggling to practice the truth after having heard from so many people in so many years. Some time back there was a drama in Puttaparthi where the devotees from Greece had presented on Janaka's life. I still remember those scenes. One scene was that there was this rishi who comes, Yajnavalkya, to Janaka's kingdom, and it seems he is in the nearby forest, and Janaka comes to know that such a great learned one has come to his kingdom and he is preaching in the forest nearby. So he also wants to go and learn. There is no invitation needed. Your Shraddha, your sincerity, your seeking is your own pass to such gatherings. So he goes. And like every ordinary person, without any fanfare, he just goes and sits amongst all the other people who were seated there, his disciples and other monks and renunciates. And he was listening to the thing. Every day he would go on time and he would listen. One day it so happens that he does not reach in time because he must have had some other engagements. So the Rishi Yajnavalkya does not start teaching at all. He is waiting for Janaka to come. All the others have arrived. They are all seated. So some of them get a doubt. Janaka is after all a king. Our teacher is also scared of the king. Or he has some partiality towards the king and not us. Because we have been waiting, but he could have started the lesson, but he's making us all wait for Janaka. The Yajnavalkya being a Jnani, he comes to know that this is going on in the minds of people. They think I am favoring Janaka over everybody else. I am not equal-minded towards my students. So he just waits when Janaka arrives. He says, let's start the lesson. And just as they are starting the lesson, he, by his Yoga Shakti, a certain divine power, he creates a scene in the jungle as if everything has caught fire. The huts have caught fire. The trees have caught fire. The entire forest has caught fire. And far away, the kingdom which is seen away, far away from the forest, that also has caught fire. When he creates that kind of an illusion, all the disciples get up and start running here and there to protect all that they had. Imagine those disciples who are just brahmacharis or maybe sannyasins. What must be their positions? A few pieces of clothing, a hut, and a few books. They were not wealthy ones, but they ran to protect all that. Whereas Janaka was sitting, listening to the discourse. He didn't get up. Then Yajnavalkya asks, oh Janaka, you are the king. See, the kingdom has caught fire. Everybody is in trouble. You are the king. You must go and protect them. He says, you are here with the highest wisdom as a guru. And I am here to learn from you. And I should not give up till I learn that from you. How can I disrespect you and get up from the middle of the class without your permission and save whatever is to be saved? You are my guru. I have come to you and I have surrendered myself to you. When I am with you, all my welfare and the welfare of the people associated with me are your responsibility. I am here only to learn and I have submitted myself in complete surrender. Now you look after whatever needs to be looked after. I am not going to budge from here. While the others run away to save their whatever, Janaka, being the king of the kingdom, does not move from his place. And of course, with Yogamaya, the divine power, the rishi makes all the fire disappear, and all the disciples are shocked. Just now there was fire, and now there is no fire. Then they return to the rishi asking, what happened? What just happened? He said, I just wanted to tell you Janaka's sincerity in learning. Even though he is the king, he has so much responsibility of the welfare of his people, and he's a good king. He's a good king. He's known for his goodness. Yet he did not move an inch from his place. He surrendered to me and said, whatever be my other affairs, I have placed it at your feet. I have come here to learn from you. Now that all that is your responsibility, I am here just to learn. Now tell me, in this hall itself, people are sitting there and minds are running everywhere. And some don't want to come only because they just don't want to give up all their yoga kshema, the pursuit of or whatever, the protection of whatever they already have. Whereas here is Janaka, king of the kingdom, who is sitting there at the feet of Yajnavalkya and not budging even if he sees fire everywhere. The idea is that that kind of a sincerity should be there. See, Adi Shankaracharya says there are 4 things that are required for you to attain wisdom. It's called mokshakarana samagriya. These 4 things are required. These are the necessary ingredients for you to attain wisdom or liberation. Viveka, Vairagya, then Mumukshatvam and Shat Sampat, he says. 4 things are there. It's called Sadhana Chatushtaya. 4 things that are required to do your sadhana and attain moksha. Viveka, discrimination. Discriminating between the real and the unreal. We all have this discrimination power. Like we can discriminate heat from cold, man for woman, day from night. So we know how to discriminate and distinguish between things. But what Shankaracharya in Viveka Chudamani says is, highest discrimination, what is real and what is unreal, what is true, what is untrue, what is worldly and what is spiritual. That discrimination one should develop. Second thing he says is Vairagya. Once you have discriminated, you should know how to detach yourself from that which is not real. What's the point in knowing all the theory of discrimination? Janami dharmam nachame pravritti. I know what is good, but I do not have the capacity to do it. I know what is bad, but I do not have the willpower to give it up. Then what is the use of knowing what is good, what is bad? So Viveka is not enough. Discrimination is not enough. Detachment is required. You should have the willpower to detach yourself from that which is not necessary on the spiritual path. That is the second most important qualification. The third one he says is Shat Sampata, he says. Shat Sampata are 6 kind of qualities that a disciple must have. Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha and Samadhana. Very simple word. Shama means control over your mind. Dama means control over your senses. It means you just don't keep following your mind wherever it takes you. It sees something, gets attracted, now it wants to have it and you run behind it. That is not Shama at all. Peace should be there in the mind, and when desires are not there, that is when mind is peaceful. Once a desire arises, mind runs after fulfilling it. Until it is fulfilled, it is not satisfied, so there is no peace. So Shama, developing that sense of control over your mind and your thoughts. Wherever your thoughts are running, you running behind those thoughts, that is not the way. You should be able to tell your mind, this is not necessary, I will discard this. This is good, I will keep it. So you should be able to sort out your thoughts, your emotions, your ideas, your attachments, and keep only those which are good and discard those which are not. That is detachment, which should follow discrimination. Bhagavan would say these are 2 friends that you have on the spiritual path. Discrimination and detachment on your right and left. With these 2 you can undertake this journey. Most of us have discrimination. We all know what is right, what is not right. But detachment is where we get stuck. This is the difference between contemplation and practice. Detachment is practice. Giving it up like poison, because it is not good for us. That ability, that willpower, that sincerity. And who will do that? Who is really sincere about it? I've seen sports people waking up at unearthly hours, 3 a.m., practicing for 2 to 3 hours in the morning. They also love to sleep. They also love to eat whatever the tongue likes. They also like to rest and relax, but they don't, because they have a purpose. They're very sincere about achieving their goals. And for that greater goal, the smaller things can be easily sacrificed. Not that it is not painful for them. It is painful for them too. But then no pain, no gain. So detachment is the pain that one must undertake to gain the wisdom of spirituality. If you do not go to this step, no point. So Shama is the control of mind, which requires a lot of discrimination and detachment. Dhamma is the control of the senses. Senses are always running behind sense objects. That is how it has been created. Kathopanishad is Paran Chikyani Vitnit Swayambhu Tasmat Paran Pashyati Na Antaratman. Why do senses run always behind sense objects? I want to eat this, see this, touch that, smell that, go there, do this. Why do senses always drive us? Because they've been created like this by default, by design. So God himself is acknowledging, yes, I have created the senses in such a way that their only job is to run outside, behind sense objects. So if they're running behind sense objects, there's no surprise there. That is how they're designed. Then why are you blaming me for being so very attached to my senses? Because that's the game, that is the opponent. You must win over the opponent. Kaschid dhira pratyagatmanam ekshat avrutta chakshu amrutatta vichhan, says Kathopanishad. One discriminating, courageous seeker learns to turn his senses inwards. Why? Because his desire is of immortality. Muktim ichhasi chetat. If you are desirous of immortality, do this. Turn your gaze inwards. The natural tendency is to run outwards. But against the tides you have to swim and turn the gaze inwards. Then you are beginning your spiritual journey. So Shama, Dhamma, out of 6 virtues. Uparati, withdrawal. So the senses are there, sense objects are there, all kinds of distractions are there. Can you withdraw yourself from all these and stay steady? That is very important. When Buddha was meditating, how many distractions were sent his way? When Gautama Siddhartha was meditating. All kinds of things. Apsaras from the heaven came, so also devils, so also all kinds of things. He stayed steady. He moved through all of it but did not get attached or stuck to anything. That is how he attained his wisdom. So, uparati, to be able to withdraw, and Bhagavad Gita says a very beautiful thing. He says, Yatha kurmango niva. Like the tortoise, it withdraws its limbs at the sight of danger. Yada samharate chayam kurmango niva sarvashaha indriyani indriyarthebhya tasya prajna pratishtita. Like the tortoise withdraws its limbs the moment it spots some danger and goes into its shell. Likewise, one should have the capacity to withdraw the senses and mind quickly into oneself without getting attached or attracted to anything. The wise ones are able to do that. Now, everything is practice in life. This also is a practice. I'm always trying to any temptation comes, trying to withdraw and stay steady. It's a practice. You have to keep practicing it. Like you practice Kung Fu, you practice badminton, you practice football. You practice writing, speaking, singing. Like that you have to practice this withdrawal. Every time such a temptation comes, quickly withdraw. And go into yourself, quite peaceful, away from distress. It's not going to be easy. Like nothing is easy. When we started walking, we fell many times. But we didn't give up walking. Saying, we are falling quite often, let us not walk anymore. No, we all struggled because we had a greater purpose. We were driven by the purpose. So we were ready to undertake any amount of pain. Fall, hurt ourselves, but we want to walk. Nobody gave up walking. Like that, so many things in life we have never given up because we were pursuant of it. We were sincere about it. We went after it, sacrificing many comforts. Likewise, in spirituality also, you have to learn to sacrifice comforts. You can't have all the comforts and also have spiritual wisdom. Not possible. Many people say, a spiritual person should be able to manage world and God very well, balance both and lead a life. Yes, it is after you have attained this wisdom. But during the process, not allowed to mix the two. After you have become a jnani, you don't have to worry what is world and what is not world. It doesn't exist. Everything looks divine to you. But till you attain the wisdom, don't fool yourself by copying those who have already reached there and saying, I am also one of them. No. That will be like blind leading the blind. Andhaina ivani yamana yathandaha. Many people are there. They'll read up a few scriptures and they become jnanis. They think they are jnanis. They start vlogging, writing websites, conducting seminars, workshops. But this is just blind leading another blind. They are not going to reach anywhere. So be careful. So you have to sacrifice. This is uparati. Shama, Dhamma, uparati, the third, withdrawal. Then titiksha, patience and forbearance. Same yesterday we learned, right? Shama, Titiksha is like that. The patience, we want to start meditation today, in 20 minutes we want to attain Brahma Vidya. I've seen a lot of people here. One day somebody wrote to me, Swami, I've been meditating as you have told me. Every morning at Brahma Muhurtam, 3:40 I wake up and I meditate till 5:40, but nothing is happening. I said, how long you have been meditating? Since yesterday. That is the impatience people have in spirituality. To get a degree, you are ready to go through 15 years of school and college education. To reach from here to Bangalore, you are ready to go undergo 3 hours of road travel. To build a house, you are able to wait for a year, step by step. To have a baby, 9 months, the baby has to be in the womb. Everything happens in certain time period only. But in spirituality, somehow people feel that we should just get it like that. Spirituality is the most coveted subject. That is the ultimate. How can you get it? For an engineering degree, you don't get it unless you go through 4 years of training. How can you expect spirituality and wisdom to come just like that overnight to you? Not possible. The wrong expectations. Then you get frustrated. What is this? 10 years, 15 years I've been practicing, nothing is happening. No, something is happening, don't worry. No effort is wasted. Shri Krishna assures, Neha vikrama nashosti pratyavayo na vidyate. There's no effort is lost on the spiritual path. It accumulates, it accrues. Someday when it is enough, when you have gathered enough mass and momentum, then it happens. So just wait for that and don't give up. So titiksha, patience. And Shraddha I've already mentioned, sincere faith in the words of the Guru and the scriptures. You don't doubt your Guru and the scriptures. Scriptures will tell you, this is how it is. You don't start questioning it. Why? Because this is a collective distilled wisdom of so many people, not one person. So many people have experienced the same thing, then it has to be the truth. Everybody said the same thing, it has to be the truth. So this is why scriptures are important. Why Guru is important? Because Guru has experienced the scripture. Therefore, faith in the word of the Guru. Then only it will happen. Once it seemed there was a Guru who told us, Tishya gave them all bamboo baskets and told, go fill water in the bamboo basket and bring it from the river. They all thought, our Guru doesn't know what he's talking. How can we carry water in a basket full of holes or full of gaps? He said, if a pot is there, understandable. Bamboo basket, how? So some of the Shishyas gave up. The first one said, my Guru has gone senile. I think it's too old, doesn't know what to give for what purpose, so he gave up. They are called Adamadhikaris, the worst of the Shishyas. They don't deserve the wisdom at all. They don't have any faith in Guru's words. Then the second one said, no, if Guru has said whether it works or not, let me go. At least I have a nice break from the class, enjoy in the river and come back after some time. And anyway, I will tell him, Guruji, I tried, nothing happened. Water and all leaked away. So he went to the river, nevertheless, with a basket and tried a few times. Nothing worked. He threw the basket aside, swam for some time, enjoyed his me time and returned. And said, Guru, I tried, didn't work. He's Madhyamadhikari. He's just average student who tries but not fully, not wholeheartedly. Just namesake, just to please the Guru, he does something, but not really sincere about it. The third one is very good. He says, Guru has said, till I achieve what he has asked me to achieve, I should be at it. So he goes to the river and goes on filling the basket, bamboo basket with water. Fills it, leaks away. Again fills, leaks away. It fills, leaks away. Now it's already afternoon. He's still filling, he's leaking, still filling and leaking. The first disciple didn't come at all. The second one went back very soon when he was hungry. Third fellow is going on and trying. Now it is already time for sunset. Then he realizes that all the bamboo has now become swollen. And it fills up all the gaps. And now finally it is able to hold water. So with that water he returns to the Guru and says, Guru, you told me to get water in this basket. I got it for you. Guru says, you're Uttamadhikari. You are the best of the disciples. Because you didn't doubt me like the first one. You didn't try half-heartedly like the second one. But you gave it all. Gave it your all. That is why this has happened finally for you. So be Uttamadhikari, Shraddha. Extremely important. Have extreme faith in what scriptures are saying. They are not lying. They are not fooling. For what sake they should do? What are they going to get out of it? Some people came. We are investing in some artificial intelligence technology. What they are going to do, they are going to take my voice and kind of replicate or create my voice in various languages, Spanish, French, Portuguese, Japanese, Russian, and things like that. So that people in a hall like this can listen to my discourse in my voice in their language. So I told them, if you do that, a lot of their devotees are there, they're just sitting and listening to English, but they don't understand much of it. They don't understand, it is still okay. If they misunderstand, it is worse. So can you please help? Generally, all this will get translated over a period of time. But with AI, we can do it faster. So I said, yes, why can you develop something? And so they have taken my voice samples and they're trying to work. So they gave me saying that, Swami, this is all very expensive affair, converting into the other languages, translating, then editing, and all that. By the time the software gets ready, a lot of investments will go into it. I said, it is worth it because then people from around the world can hear the same discourse at the same time and understand it. So can you do it? So he said, yes. Then he said, Swami, can we put a revenue model for this just to unburden you of the financial investment that will come with it, which runs into tens of lakhs of rupees. So I said, what is the model? He said, for every discourse, you can charge $1, $2 like that. If they want to use the app, they have to download the app, pay for the subscription, and then use it for a certain time. And for every discourse, we can earn $1 or $2. I believe you have 600, 800 hours of discourses on Upanishads alone. Every hour, if you get $1, $600 from one person at one go. Then I told my rishis have never charged $1 for the wisdom that they've given. How can I charge for anything? All the wisdom, collective wisdom of our Vedas, Upanishads, nobody charged anybody for that. Today's gurus are charging left, right, and center. He was telling me, quoting other gurus' example, why don't you also charge? I said, what they do is up to them. I have neither good or bad things to say about it. That is their model, that is their way. This wisdom is pure. This wisdom is distilled essence of all our rishis. They never charged. In fact, they gave up the whole world to pursue this wisdom. And now after having got this wisdom, they've given it free to everybody. Take it. And now you're telling just because I'm using some AI and making it available to more people, I should be charging for it. So I do that model doesn't work for me. You do what you can, what you require, we will see, but do not make it a commercial model. Yes, sometimes when we have to print a book or two, paper goes into it, and there is a travel cost, there is a what you call courier cost, and all that. Some basic cost, I tell our people, okay, that much you recover. But that's for the paper and the book, not for the wisdom in it. So I said, no, I do not want to charge like that. Those who want to donate, they can donate, but do not ask people for money for the wisdom that I have. Or which is also like, I cannot claim it is mine because it is also coming from the great rishis. I read them, I learned from them, and now I am wise, so I am able to spread that message. So what I am saying is that kind of feeling, a guru and wisdom, jnani should be there. That's why you should have Shraddha, because somebody is giving you this wisdom for free, all the more you should have faith in them. Because somebody is giving it for a charge, there is a good possibility they are just trying to modify it to suit your liking because they want clients. So many gurus may just say things just to please the disciples, because if they don't say those things, those disciples won't come back again. But when you are not charging for your wisdom, it means you can be honest. You can be true. It doesn't matter disciples come, don't come. You are only speaking what you are supposed to speak. Like rain, doesn't care it falls in a river or falls in a drainage. It falls down because it is the way of rain. Who drinks, who does not drink, where it goes, it doesn't care. Like that, wisdom should be free. That's why where the mind is without fear, where the head is held high, where the knowledge is free. That is the land of Bharat. So this knowledge should be free. So Shraddha should be there in this knowledge. And Samadhana. Samadhana means equanimity. Difficulties will come on this path. It will test your patience and resilience. It will test your commitment and convictions. And you should still stay on this path. You should not give it up. Churasya dhara nishita duratya. It is like walking on the razor's edge. Durgam pathaha. It is very difficult path, spirituality. But uttishtata jagrata prapya varanya bodhata. Rise, awake, and stop not till you reach the goal. This is the qualification of a Shishya. Not done yet. Final one is mumukshatvam. After these 6 virtues, the final virtue is mumukshatvam, which is the burning desire to attain divine. Not ordinary desire, not soda bubble desire. One day you are excited, other day you have forgotten about it. Because distracted by this. Burning desire. In Tripura Rahasya, Dattatreya says, it is like some man whose hair has caught fire. What does he want at that point of time? He just wants water. Nothing else will attract him, nothing else will dissuade him from this path, nothing else will distract him. He just wants water to put his head into and douse the fire. That burning desire if you have, then you are a qualified disciple. So go back and check on all these things. Discrimination, detachment, 6 virtues of Shama, Dama, Upadati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana, which is sense control, mind control, patience and forbearance, sincere faith, ability to withdraw, and equal-mindedness. All these you should have. And finally, mumukshutvam, a burning desire. Burning desire to realize God, not just ordinary desire. When somebody asked Sri Ramakrishna, why am I not able to realize God? He took him and put his head into the water, threw him into the well. And that fellow started struggling for breath. He said, if you struggle for God like you are struggling for your breath right now, then you will see God. Anything less than that will not qualify you to see God. Janaka had all these things. He wanted to realize God. He needed nothing else now. He spent enough time doing enough things. Finally, I want to have it, otherwise there is no other way. And so Ashtavakra does not start with a long introduction, roundabout, trying to use sweet words, sugar-coated philosophy. No, straight. If you want to attain moksha, if you are serious about it, then give up the pleasure of the world and practice these 5 virtues. Shama, Arjava, Daya, Tosha, Satyam, Piyushavad, Bhaja. Practice now. Straight he tells Janaka, don't try to waste my time or your time. That is why Ashtavakra is straight to the point. That is why it's very interesting, because it does not go like Viveka Chudamani trying to theoretically explain everything from the beginning, finally reach the ultimate idea, which is right. For the newcomer, it is the way. But Ashtavakra has no time, nor I also do not have time to go through long scriptures. So I am also straight to the point. Take it or leave it. But if you are sincere and if you really want it, then you must sacrifice, learn to sacrifice. Sukhartina kuto vidya, vidyarthina kuto sukham. For the seekers of pleasure, where is knowledge? For seekers of knowledge, where is pleasure? Sukhartina labate vidya, vidyarthina labate sukham. The desirous people for pleasure will never attain wisdom. The people who want wisdom will never go behind desires or pleasures. So with that second chapter, I think second shloka, over third shloka also we yesterday started, and we learned Dirghadrishya Viveka, which is a cross-reference from Vidyaranya Swami. But I hope you have practiced, and if you have practiced, you should have doubts in your head. If none of you have any doubt about yesterday's practice, then I have a problem. Because you are already jnani, so then you don't need me. Or you have not practiced, then I don't need you. So one of the 2 categories you must be. So if you have doubts, means you have tried. Doubts will come. One doubt came, somebody said, no, I am trying to withdraw. But whenever I think that I am withdrawing, I am again connecting to my body and my mind only. Who is withdrawing? Let us say I am Pranav. Pranav is withdrawing. That is the idea. Consciousness is coming, not coming. Consciousness also is now getting superimposed with the idea that this is a body and with a name. So I am struggling with that. I said, good, this is a good struggle, because this is how it begins. This is how it begins, because every time you think, the thought itself takes you away from the goal. Thought itself is the enemy of realization. There should not be a thought at all. There should be only the presence. But very difficult, because even to feel that, you will think, I am now withdrawing from the object into the eyes, from the eye into the mind, from mind into the consciousness. Now I am established in the consciousness. Who is established? I, Pranav, is established in the consciousness. You have lost the plot. But that's what is happening. But I said, that's fine. Begin there. At least you started some process. Slowly you will get a hang of it. But be at it. It takes some time. And slowly, who is this I? Who is this I? You will keep questioning, and gradually you will grow beyond the nama and form. So the next shloka, see, the body part is easy. Withdrawing from the body. Tie up the body to a pillar and you will not run behind senses. How will you run behind senses? Because you can't move. That's what people used to do. Why they used to go out to forest? Into the caves? There is no distraction only. What is that to distract? Nothing. No human being, no nothing. No food, no water, no shelter, no pleasures, nobody to talk to. What choice of, physically they could easily withdraw by such austerity. Some people would sit on thorns, some people would sit on a fire. All kinds of things people have done. Even punished their body, harmed themselves. Some of them I know of, those who have cut off their organs because they didn't want to enter into any kind of a relationship or a pleasure. They have chopped off their tongue so that they don't have to talk to anybody. Physically, they have tried to withdraw themselves from the senses and organs of senses, whatever. But can you withdraw the mind is the question. How do you control the mind? Can you cut the mind off? You can cut your tongue because you don't want to talk to somebody. Cut your whatever organs, genitals, so that you don't engage in any relationship. But can you cut your mind off? That is the bigger challenge. But some of them started off like that, saying, at least let me start withdrawing physically, then I will work on the mental part of it. So the next shloka talks about the mental part of it also. The fourth shloka, see, imagine such a profound scripture, we are not able to go past 3-4 shlokas. The fourth shloka, which is on 46th page, it says, because Janaka asked, no, how do I attain moksha? He says, Yadi deham prithakritya chiti vishramya tishtasi adhunaiva sukhi shanto bandhumokto bhavishyasi. If you can do this, what can you do? If you can distance yourself from your body, deham prithak, separate the body from yourself. If you can do that, and chiti, the mind, vishramya tishtasi, is at absolute rest. It means there are no activities in the mind. It at perfect peace and absolute rest, thoughtless stage. Adhunaiva sukhi shantu. Then and there you will become sukhi, happy, and shantaha means peaceful. Both will happen at once. Bandha mukto bhavishyasi, and you will be free from the bondages then and there. Some philosophy and religion, some guru or jnani promises you that you can attain God only after so many centuries. It is only attainable after so much of work, or it is not attainable at all, forget it. Don't even go there. Go to Ashtavakra, who says it is attainable. Already has given you so much of confidence. But terms and conditions apply. And what are those terms? These are the terms. And here he says, 2 things you will have to do. See, you all tried Brigadrishya Viveka, right? You tried to move away from the body into the mind first. Object is seen, eyes are the seer. First you are still stuck in the body. Then from eye you thought, no, my mind is seeing through the eye. Now you went one step behind the body and went into your mind. Now the next thing is, mind is also being observed by my consciousness. This is what you are trying, but this is where we are getting stuck. Why? Because the moment we say consciousness observing, you think it is my consciousness, and again we have got into the same thing. Again you are identifying with the body and the mind actually. So that is not happening. Actually the truth is, that state of your existence which is in between 2 thoughts, that is your consciousness. Between the two thoughts, whatever the little gap is there, that is pure consciousness. It's not the thought, it's not the word, it's not observation, it's not analysis, it's not whatever emotions that come with it. It is that gap between the 2 thoughts, that's where you have to get established. But it is such a small gap because our mind jumps from one thought to another continuously. In a day we think 60,000 thoughts, unique thoughts. 60,000. Continuously our mind is shifting from one thought to another. Between the 2 thoughts, when there is a gap, in that gap what exists, that is consciousness. Because it is not having any thoughts, any ideas, it is just there. That catching that gap is very difficult. Somewhere I saw one reel, there is, you have to click at the right time to capture the person in the frame. Every time you try, the person walks out of the frame. So that person is continuously moving and there is a frame. In that person should fit. You keep trying. Just when you press, the person is moving. It's like fraction of a second that you should get it right. That gap between the 2 thoughts is the consciousness. That's where you have to get established. What are the options? What are the odds? Tremendous. Because our thoughts are continuous. They're always flowing one after the other. There's no gap at all. So rishis tried to reduce the thoughts first. If there are lesser thoughts, the problem is less. 60,000 thoughts means a lot of problems. 6 thoughts means less problems. Then there is a possibility of some gap between one thought and another. Otherwise, continuously it is coming. How can you? So first is to reduce your thoughts. And this is why seva is said. It will help you reduce your unwanted thoughts. Good thoughts will remain there, better thoughts, so still we can entertain. But bad thoughts will go away, desirous thoughts will go away. So seva helps us. That's why karmani chitti shuddhyartham. Now you understand the logic of why Shankaracharya says action should be to purify your mind. Reduce the unwanted thoughts in the mind. Then ekagratham upasana. Now you have to click. How do you click? Ekagratham. Focus. Sharp focus should be there. And for that, you need to learn how to focus. So you begin with small, small practices. You take a deity whom you love, give it your all your worship. Then only that deity is in your mind. Nothing else comes inside your mind. Your mind is very focused. A shooter is there, right? When he shoots. How much focus that must be. Once I was talking to Sachin Tendulkarji, and I asked him, how does it happen? He said, we don't know, it just happens. It's practice, 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 so much of practice that within those few seconds of the ball arriving at what speed, sometimes 200 kilometers, some kind of speed that the fast bowlers throw. Within almost instinctively they bat. There is no time to analyze what is the footwork of the bowler, how is the throw, how is he turning the ball, where he is going to hit the ground, and how is it going to bounce. Is there so much time available to analyze all that? No, within that second you have to, it's almost like instant. How does it happen? It happens because they practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. Now within that fraction of a second they are able to hit a 6. How did it happen? Because from childhood, from when he was 10 years old, he was going to cricket ground at 4 a.m. and practicing till 7. Then going to school and running back after school 3 o'clock again to the ground and practicing. Gavaskar ji will tell you the same thing. Vishwanath ji will tell you the same thing. How did it happen? First day didn't happen, isn't it, Vishwanath ji? You might have definitely missed the ball. You might have definitely played the wrong shot, got out. But it has taken several years of tremendous sadhana, that is. One pointed focus. Now, whichever bowler comes, you have developed that inner instinct. And quickly you hit. And then people are surprised. That is what differentiates a master from a novice. Because they have practiced it. It's become a part of them to bat. It's no more an effort. It's effortless. So that idea, continuously if you practice this discrimination, one day instinctively you will get it. You will get it just like that, and after that you will never forget it. The moment your mind is getting disturbed, like tortoise will quickly withdraw it and stay steady, stay in peace. Or even when you are acting, there is something in you which will remain steady and will not get disturbed. You can think right then. That happens. You feel as if you are on an autopilot. Your hand swings the bat, it hits the ball, and you are still a witness to everything. You don't even feel you are involved in it. This morning I was reading this book. This book was written or whatever spoken in 2020, when I myself was quite early in this path of teaching Upanishads. I couldn't believe that all this was spoken by me. I said, when did it all happen? How did I know all these things? And actually the first 100 pages are only 2-3 shlokas. Because there's so many cross-references from Viveka Chudamani to Upanishads to Bhagavad Gita to here, there, everywhere. I said, how did it happen? It's not possible. So I look back and see. Yesterday when somebody was asking, I told 3 things you will know when your divine is flowing through you. One, you will not feel the doership that you did it. Second, you will not feel the enjoyership that you enjoyed doing it. And third, you will not have the memory of what happened. Because it just happened. Just happened through you. So you don't remember any of it. Maybe some remote idea of something, but not like you enjoy it, you do it, and you remember every bit of it. The moment all these 3 are happening, your ego is involved. It's not fully divinized. So I felt like that when I was reading this book, and of course this book has become quite lengthy, but I'm just trying to go to the shlokas. For intellectual purposes, you can read as many as you want. But the beauty of this shloka is that if you are capable of distancing yourself from yourself, that is from body, if you are capable of putting your mind at complete rest without any thought, then and there, you attain peace and happiness, which you are asking for. Mukti, freedom. Freedom is peace. Freedom is happiness. How do you attain that? This is how you attain that. And I'm very sure that any great jnani always is living in that moment between the 2 thoughts. And even if the thoughts are coming, he's still in that moment. Thoughts are passing. That focus. When a shooter is shooting, they don't even breathe, because even a breath can distract them. They're asked not to breathe. They hold their breath and then shoot. Because that little shake can go in a wrong way. That focus, that intense focus is required to be on the speed. That's why walking on a razor's edge, because little distraction you will cut yourself. And this is the path for anything, not only for spirituality, anything. Even cricket demands this, even good singing demands this, driving demands this. Anything that you want to do it with perfection demands this. Even something like cooking demands it. Complete presence, living in that moment, absolutely nowhere else. That is the demand. Nothing else should be in your mind. So that focus is what is right. So he said, are you capable of this? Can you distance yourself from your body and your pleasures? And can you keep your mind at quiet, absolutely quiet? Then you will attain, because these two when disappear, what remains is consciousness. Otherwise consciousness is entangled in the body or in the thoughts of the mind. We are not able to separate it, purify it. That is how, like if water is there, if you add a little color and little flavor, now it has become a syrup. If I tell you, remove water from the syrup, very difficult because it's all got mixed up. Like that our body and mind has got mixed up into our consciousness, and now very difficult to separate the consciousness. So it's as difficult as that. But then they also say it is as easy because actually you are that consciousness. Now if you ask our Vishwanath ji how difficult it is playing cricket, he said, cricket is very easy. But you ask a new person, he'll say, sir, for you it is easy, for us it is very difficult. That's what he would say. Because you have practiced it. You are a master now. You are no more a disciple. But for Janaka, of course, but he gives the task straight away, saying, learn to separate yourself from the body. Observe your body by being a witness within. Like if you have acted in a drama or in a movie. Now you watch your movie. What are you doing? You are only acting in the movie, but you are only observing yourself act in the movie. It's something like that. That you are only acting while you are witnessing yourself. And whatever emotions are going on in the movie are not affecting you anymore, because in the movie you are supposed to have, let us say you were acted like a Abhimanyu who had killed in the Chakravyuha. He had to emote like that. He had to, cry and plead and all that. But when you are watching the movie sitting down, are you getting affected by that? No, because you say, oh, that was the acting. Maybe the first time watchers will start worrying. But you are just yourselves who had acted that. You wouldn't get involved. Likewise, you don't get involved in your own body's affairs. You're watching your body do its own stuff. Driven by its own. Guna guneshu vartante, Shri Krishna says. Body is driven by its own gunas. Somebody is lazy, somebody is hardworking, somebody is very spiritual, somebody is very worldly. All these gunas we have carried from our past lives. They drive our body. Matva dhiram na sajjate, he says. Once the dhira knows that my old vasanas and instincts, samskaras are driving this body. I like sweets or I don't like sweets. I like songs, I don't like songs. All these are happening because of my past lives habits. They are doing it for their own sake. I am not involved in this. Na sajjate, he doesn't get affected. Like if watching your own movie, watching yourself act, you don't get affected sitting here. Something like that happens to the jnani in this practice. So you see your hand is moving, you see your book is in your hand, you see you're looking at somebody, you see you're talking to someone, you hear even yourself speaking to yourself. But you always know that you're different from all these that is happening around you. That is a practice. Again, I said practice is important. You have to keep practicing. Next time you're walking around, just think that you're observing yourself walking, observing from inside. Suppose you're wearing a costume, like in theme parks, Mickey Mouse and all kinds of costumes, right? The person who's inside the costume knows that he's not the Mickey Mouse, right? But the person who's watching him from outside thinks there is a Mickey Mouse over here. The inside person clearly knows he'll jump, dance and do what is required. From the outside he looks like a big Mickey Mouse jumping, dancing, and he thrills all the children. But inside the man knows I am not a Mickey Mouse. I am a man. Like that you know I am this self and not this body that is carrying me around. You become your own observer. That is Sakshi Bhutam. Body is distanced already. Now thoughts. Next is distance the thoughts. Chiti Vishramachi. How to distance the thoughts and make the mind quiet. Again I said, in Master the Mind I have taught this. The first step is reduce the number of thoughts in your head, so that there is less things to sort out. Now how do you reduce the number of thoughts? Suppose you have a cupboard full of clothes. From last 5 years you've been accumulating. Now you go back to the cupboard one fine Sunday and say, I must clean it up. What do? You look at all the clothes which are there in the cupboard. Then you realize, oh, this is old fashioned, this is now small for me, that's faded away, this is already torn. Like that you start removing the thoughts from your head. Clean up the cupboard of your head and start throwing those. Now we're holding on to so many past grudges which are not necessary. That's why I said forgive. Because if you're not forgiving, all those grudges are in your cupboard and unnecessarily occupying the space. Now we want to search for the cloth, the t-shirt that you want to wear. In that whole pile of things, you're not able to find it because there are too many things in the cupboard. If there are only 5-6 pairs of clothes, you would have easily found your clothes. But no. Why do you think women take so much time to get ready? So many saris, which one to choose? And then that blue sari only they want, but there are 30 blue saris inside the cupboard. I have seen some of them, not all of. Here people are very good. Here I have told people, whatever you don't use for 6 months, please donate it or discard it, unless it's a special thing which you need to hold for certain occasions. Don't keep it unnecessarily. Don't accumulate it. In our staff quarters, I did not allow the lofts in the room. They asked me, for storage purposes, let us put lofts on top, because generally in India, most of the small households will have lofts, they'll keep storing things forever, ever. They never go back and look at what is stored there. Just keep it, kya pata, someday we will need it. They never need it. It becomes a family's heirloom, it becomes a legacy. From small dabbas to plastic bags to bottles to God knows what all. So when we didn't provide the loft, some of them complained, Swamiji, there is no loft, where will we keep all these things? I told, do you need them? Do you need them first of all? We may need them. I said, when you need them, we will see. But do you need them ever? Have you used in the last 6 months? No. But we have been carrying it for the last 10 years. Boxes of them. I told, then you don't need them. Just give it away to somebody who needs it more than you. Just discard it. Give it to the, whatever people with the scrap collectors. Do anything with it, but don't keep it inside the house. Keep your house free and empty with minimal. Now, minimalism is in thing. In Japanese, minimalism is the fashion. Keep minimum furniture, minimum clothes, like that, minimal thoughts, minimal memories, minimal emotions. Already your mind is sorted out. First step is that. Go look into what is unnecessary, throw it away. Don't keep it, especially negative ones. Bad memories, painful emotions, because they'll always come back to you. So just remove and throw them all, discard them all. Keep only as much as is required. That is the first part. Second thing, in that also, whatever is left, see which thoughts are sattvic, which are rajasic, and which are tamasic. These are 3 categories of thoughts. Tamasics are all those which are lazy thoughts, lethargic thoughts, or negative, cruel, inhuman thoughts. We all have that. We all enjoy some bit of negativity sometimes. Look at the way movies are coming out now, full of violence and hatred and rudeness. And why? Because somewhere they are catering to that instinct inside us, that basal instinct of being negative. While we don't acknowledge, we enjoy the violence. When these movies were becoming super hits, earning hundreds of crores, I got really worried. I thought, where is this society going? What is this entertainment that we are enjoying? So much cruelty, and yet everybody is loving it. Because they are catering to our basic instincts hidden inside somewhere that have cruelty, violence, hatred, revenge, which we have brought from our past lives or from our animal lives. They are catering to that. But it is like the muscle. Whichever muscle you use more, that will become strong. Right-handed people's right hand is strong. Left-handed people's left hands are strong. Likewise, tamasic gunas, if you keep on entertaining them, that will become strong. That will become huge in you. So avoid that. So then, once you have thrown away all the things that you don't use anymore, in the things that you use also discriminate. First, those are negative emotions. I must get rid of them. I know it's not possible right away, but keep them in a box and say, this box has to be thrown out someday. Be aware of your negativities. Then rajasic thoughts, ambition, passion, desire, achievement, egotism, attachments. These are the other second type of thoughts, which are good, better than the previous ones. But then they also are impediments on your path because they fuel your ego, which is not good. That is why I was telling somebody, the more number of things are registered in your name, the more will be your ego. That's why trusteeship or custodianship is the best way to live life. Let everything be a trust, which is what I tell our staff. Yes, none of these assets belong to you, but it is a collective shared thing. We all use that. This building belongs to everyone. Yeah, it can't be in your name because it's not allowed. But that saves you from a lot of ego. Even if you buy a pen and keep it in your pocket, you see the ego that comes with it. And then the attachment. Where is that pen? Where is the pen? Half the time your mind is searching. You lose it and you are not at peace. Suppose it was not your pen in the first place. It is a library pen. You used it as long as you write and put it back in the library box and went away. Where is the trouble? Where is the trouble? Likewise, physically we may not be able to do this all the time because in this world when we have to live, like sannyasis can do this. But people who are grihasthas, people who are living, they have to have, your property should be in your name, you have to pay your taxes, you have to do everything. That is a part of your life, but you are not attached to it. You think it's given by God. I am living in God's house. That's why I tell our devotees. See, you don't have to give up your houses, but you give up the attachment and attitude that it is yours. Earlier you used to think, Swami is living in our home. When I go there, they give me a room and they say, please stay with us. They say, Swami, thank you for coming to our home, they will think. I'll say, no, I was always in this home. You are living in my home without paying rent. Think like that. God is not living in my home. I am living in God's home. God is not coming in my car. I am driving God's car. That attitude change should come, and you should feel it really. Don't make false statements like that. Because one day I will tell you, just sell the house and come. Then I will know who is who. Because attachments are there. See, everybody says, Swami, everything belongs to you. The house belongs to you. I belong to you. My wealth belongs to you. One day if I tell, okay, fine, donate everything and come. Then we will know how much you really believe in it. Arjava is there or not. Thought, word and deed, integrity is there or not. You will figure it out like that. So be honest. If you have not reached that state, keep putting efforts. Someday you should reach that state. It's okay. I'm not saying everybody will reach that on the first day. But keep at it. That attitude change should happen. That is very important. So again, Ashtavakra says the mind has to be put at rest. These are the things. Remove the unwanted things first. 2, categorize all your thoughts into sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. Sattvic are pure thoughts. I want God for God's sake. That is sattvic thought, period. I want everybody to be happy, good, healthy. Let me know when I have any sorrow. Sattvic thought. Rajasic thought, I want things for myself. That is rajasic thought. And tamasic thoughts, I don't want things for them. That is negative. Ek to, I don't want them to be happy. Negative. Second, I want to be happy, rajasic. All be happy, sattvic. So categorize your thoughts from selfish to selfless and keep selfless thoughts and start removing selfish thoughts. And it is a long process. Don't expect this to happen on day one. As I said, I meditated for 20 minutes and I want jnana. No, not possible. Many, many years. And try not to accumulate more unnecessary thoughts. So that whatever is there, you first deal with it and don't keep collecting more and more and more and more simply. That is not necessary. So these are some basic principles in which mind can be also taught how to rest, relax and be empty. Because without these two, distancing yourself from the body and its desires, and 2, quietening your mind and making it at complete rest, you can't reach that stage of consciousness. You can't be free, he's saying. So these are practices that already he's asking Janaka to do. Only then he will understand the rest of the Gita, Ashtavakra Gita. So this is how beautifully, as it begins only with such heavy homework. You do all this, then only you will understand anything else. So this is the essence of all our scriptures. First 4 shlokas complete the entire essence of the scripture. A good teacher tells what he is going to tell, then tells what he has told. This is what he is told. Ashtavakra starts off telling what he is going to tell in the rest of the slokas. It's all about establishing yourself in the self. Distancing yourself from the identification of the body, keeping your mind at complete zero thought stage. Then you see behind is the consciousness which is everywhere. This is the simple formula Ashtavakra is teaching, and all through the book he is going to only explain this. He will tell it in so many ways so that it gets deeply embedded in our consciousness. We never forget it. So he will tell the same thing in so many ways. One beautiful example of the mind without thoughts is given in Vashishta Ramayana, or rather Vashishta Gita. Sri Rama also went through some of the spiritual conflicts. You know that? When he was a young boy, he just came back from the ashram of Vashishta. Suddenly he lost interest for everything in life, it seems. Food, entertainment, sports, good clothes. And everybody got worried. So there is a shloka on page number 51 where Vashishta is explaining to Rama about what is that state of self. It is from Vashishta Ramayana, it's a cross-reference again, but I like this so I want to tell. What is the state of the person who is established in consciousness? It says, Samshanta Sarva Sankalpa. All his thoughts have become zero. Shanta, absolute peace prevails within him. How it is? Shila Antarivastitihi, like the inside of a stone. Can you imagine how it must be inside a stone? Absolute peace. There is no disturbance. Outside it's raining, it's thundering, it's windy, or it's hot. But inside of the stone, deep inside the stone, how it must be. You have to just imagine. Even you can sit and meditate on that thought that what it must be like inside of the stone. Absolute peace. No vagaries. Absolute steadiness. That is the mind of a person who is realized this way. Like inside of the stone. But it is not caused because of jadya nidra virnirmukta, not because of lethargy or because of sleep. In sleep state also we sleep like logs or stones. Nobody knows what's happening. Many of us sleep like that, right? We don't even realize that we are sleeping. That kind of peace, but without the sleep, he's saying. That kind of peace that you enjoy when you're extremely lazy or extremely sleepy, you enjoy a sense of peace. There are no thoughts. There is no energy for the thoughts to appear and disappear. Absolute peaceful. Like that his mind is, but he is aware. He is awake. He is not sleeping to attain that. So that is the idea. Sa swaswarupa sthiti smritaha. Understand that to be your true nature, says Vasishta to Rama. Absolutely zero thoughts, absolutely zero emotions, absolutely no disturbance whatsoever, like the deep peace and silence that is present inside the stone. Yet you are aware of your being. You have not forgotten who you are like in deep sleep. That kind of nature is your nature of the self. At least some example, Arundhati Vasishta Nyaya, they say, when the marriage happens in India, they'll take and show two stars in the sky. One star is Arundhati, it seems. She was a women's sage, and Vashishta was the male sage. The same Vashishta was written, this Vashishta Gita. So they are husband and wife. So husband and wives, after the marriage, they're taken and shown the sky, saying these are the two stars, like Arundhati and Vashishta, you also should be together in ups and downs and good and bad and sickness and health and all that. That is the way they promise each other. But Arundhati's bride Vashishta is not seen. So Arundhati Vashishta is that they will show the first star which is brighter and tell the next to it is the other star, pointing towards that. Because together you cannot see both the star at once because they are of different luminosity. Likewise, our scriptures are very kind. They know we cannot understand the truth just like that because to experience it, it will take a long time. So they are very kind to give us some pointers. How it must be when you are totally at peace in your mind and when you distance yourself from the vagaries of the body, it will be like the inside of the stone which is absolutely peaceful without being lazy or without being drowsy. That is the example they have given of how the peace of mind is when you are in that state of consciousness. And when does it occur? As I said, between the two thoughts. Between the two thoughts is where that consciousness can be experienced. It means reduce the number of thoughts, means reduce the number of desires, associations, all kinds of unnecessary sangha, means company of people. That is all important to be on the spiritual path. You can't be so involved in everything which is selfish nature and then also be spiritual. Very difficult. Once you have attained the wisdom, then doesn't matter. Then doesn't matter. Once you attain that ultimate wisdom, then you can manage anything. Like a new driver must put an elbow and drive in empty roads or maybe in a ground where no traffic is there. But once he is a good driver, he can go to the highway. That time somebody says, no, the rule of driving is you should drive on empty road. Then this fellow says, that is only when you are learning. Once you have learned, you are supposed to drive on the highway. Like that, once you attain this jnana, then you can deal with the world. The world cannot affect you anymore. You have developed that ability to withdraw and stay in that state of rest and peace like the inside of the stone. Nothing affects you. Let it rain outside, let it shine outside. It doesn't matter to you. That kind of state is what Vashishta Ramayana describes for Rama. And it seems Rama was so enamored by the spiritual ideas that he told, I don't want to be the king. I just want to be in this state of absolute peace Please allow me to give up the idea of kingship and all that. Then Dasharatha gets worried. After so much of yajna and tapas, I got you sons. And now you, the oldest one, is saying, I don't want to be a king. You have to be the king. As per the rule, you are supposed to be the king. Rama says, I am not interested, sorry. Then Vashishta, Dasharatha goes to Vashishta and says, what have you done to my son? He doesn't want to be a king. He's not interested in anything. He's behaving like a renunciate. Do something. Vashishta says he is absorbed in the state of self right now. He's not interested in any of these things. Naturally, he's gone. But he says, but Dharma Sthapana has to happen. He is born for establishment of Dharma. If he withdraws from the action of the world, how is Dharma going to be established? Then Vasishtha agrees, and finally it seems he becomes a small insect, a bee-like thing, and enters Rama's nose and wakes him up from his reverie. That's how Rama comes back to the normal state, and then he's told by Vasishtha, yes Rama, while you enjoy this peace and whatever you are enjoying, it is true, but you have a role to play. This is in the drama of this universe, you have a role to play. You are the protagonist. You have to establish Dharma. So please postpone it to another day. Come back and work. So with compassion, Rama of course comes and work. But does he mean that he has forgotten that experience? No. Not forgotten. That is what I told in the beginning. Krishna Janmashtami said, Jiva Prajna to Baituga, Daiva Prajna. They have divine consciousness in them. They also have the individual consciousness. But they clearly know the difference between the two. And for them, very easy to just withdraw like tortoise and go off into the divine consciousness, operate and sit there and operate from there, observe everything. But some people ask me, so you are always there in the divine consciousness, you are always floating? No. If you totally go into the divine consciousness state, then you cannot operate in the world. Like Sri Ramakrishna Paramsa will go off into the state of samadhi. Somebody has to carry him. Many times he's broken his hand or leg because he's just fallen like that from samadhi. So what is the other way? You know what is divine consciousness and still you come out and operate in the world consciousness, like putting on the costume and doing your role. But deep inside you are aware. But once your drama is done, you throw away the costume, you are at peace. You are much better peace, that is right, because you are not anymore acting. Otherwise you have to act in the world. That is the rule. So that is how these jnanis operate. When it is necessary, they'll put on the costume, come on the stage, do their role. Once the drama is over, scene is over, their part is over, they remove the costume, throw it away and be themselves. This is how jnanis operate. But while doing drama, he has to be involved in the drama. He has to emote. At that point in time, the more he is involved in the character, the better actor he is. So yes, for that moment, completely being in the divine consciousness and also being here may not be possible. But does it mean that the person has forgotten? Even in the middle of a dialogue, he remembers who he is. That awareness is what is required while acting in the world. And when you can withdraw, as I said, when your drama or acting role is over, you can always discard everything and be at peace. That's the idea. Like you are a woman, you are also a mother or a sister or a daughter-in-law, or a teacher also, or a devotee also. But all of that is superimposed on the woman that you are. When you are with husband, you are behaving like a wife. When you are with a child, you are behaving like a mother. When you are with Swami, you are behaving like a devotee. When you are with your brother, you are behaving like a sister. But have you ever forgotten that you are a woman? Yes, while behaving like a sister, you don't separately, consciously remember I am a woman and I am behaving like a sister. No, you are behaving like a sister, that's fine. But sisterhood is not possible without the womanhood that you are having, right? Likewise, Jiva Prajna is always there. Daiva Prajna is also there. But Daiva Prajna does not need to be explicitly remembered every time, oh, I have Daiva Prajna and now I am acting in Jiva Prajna. No, you are a woman, you are behaving like a sister. It is a normal, like that. Jnanis behave like ordinary people do their work in the world in the same fashion. But when they are not with the brother, she can be herself. That me time. Children have gone to school, husband has gone to office, nobody is there at home, I am myself. I enjoy my solitude. That is how jnanis live. They enjoy the solitude when they have nothing to do with anybody and nobody needs to be entertained. Then they are themselves. Pure themselves. That's why Bhagavan said what? When I am with women, I am a woman. And when I am with men, I am a man. When I am with children, I am a child. Alone, I am God. That is the concept, that is the understanding how they act in the world. So this is what he's saying. Separate yourself from the body, put your mind to rest, and the state that exists after that, that is the state which is your true self. That self is something that gives you absolute freedom and peace because you're not bound by anything in that. As a sister, she is bound. She has to entertain her brother. As a wife, she is bound. She has to work for her husband. As a mother, she is bound. She has to work for the children. As a daughter, she is bound. She has to do what she needs to do for the father. As a teacher, she is bound. She has to go and teach. But when she is none of these, she is herself, she is not bound. She can listen to the song she wants, she can eat what she wants, she can stay as she wants, she can wear as she wants. But the moment she puts herself in a role, she has to behave accordingly. Same thing for men also, father, brothers, uncle, whatever you are. Like that these jnanis are. Very, very quite easy to understand if you see from their point of view like this. But problem is that once we become sister, we get stuck there only. We are never able to come back to myself. Like the tortoise, we are not able to withdraw into ourselves again and again. That's why, because we are attached. We are attached. But everybody enjoys the freedom when they can be themselves. Even at physical level also, everybody enjoys being themselves. In front of others, everybody has to act or behave. When nobody is around, you are really yourself. Like that, jnani is jnani when he has nothing to do with the world. When he has to do with the world, he has to behave accordingly. So these are the ways, just like a drama. That's why all the world's a stage and all men and women merely players. That's all it is. The whole thing is a drama and you're playing your part. As long as you remember that, there is no confusion. If you forget that, then you get stuck with your costume and your makeup and your roles and then get confused about your true identity. There's a lot of explanation from, as I said, from all cross references, but I would just skip all that. How much time we have? Oh, we still have time. Okay, so I'll go to the next shloka, which is shloka number 79. Page number 79, shloka number 1.5. No, he has already explained to you earlier. I'll give them 79th page. 5th shloka is right on top of the page. Yes, so it says, further he is explaining, clarifying to Janaka Maharaja, what all he has explained so far. He said, give up pursuit of worldly pleasures, practice these 5 virtues. 2, he told, you are not the 5 elements with which this body is made. You are the witness consciousness. Knowing that, be free. Then he says, the next one, separate yourself, distance yourself from the body, put your mind at absolute rest with 0 thoughts. That state which you experience then, that is your true state. Know that and be happy and peaceful at once. Sukhi shanto bhava. Both happiness and peace comes because you are not bound anymore. You don't have any judgments, you don't have any ideas, biases, prejudices, or likes, preferences. Everything has disappeared because no thoughts. So that is the idea. Now next shloka he is further explaining the same concept. He says, na tvam vipradiko varno, nashrami nakshagocharaha, asangosi nirakaro, vishwasakshi sukhi bhava. Again and again he says, sukhi bhava, be happy, be happy. Because happiness is our true nature. We are making ourselves miserable by our own mistakes. Otherwise we are supposed to be happy. When a child is born, he is always happy, always smiling, giggling, unless hungry. Always happy. The nature of ours is happiness. So he says, how to be happy? Again he says one more way. Natvam vipradiko varno. You are not one of those classes of people. In India, we have 4 classes, or classification, not classes, is a bad idea. Classification, based on our aptitudes, not based on our birth. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, we say. Brahmanas are people who are in pursuit of intellectual things. They are stimulated by their intellect. They are knowledge seekers. Kshatriyas, they are power seekers. They want to govern, rule, administer kingdoms, control things. That is their nature. Vaishyas, they are business-minded people. They are money-minded people. They seek wealth. They seek pleasures. They seek a lot of comforts. That is their nature. And Shudras, they seek only physical pleasures and rest and relaxation. They don't want to pursue intelligence. They don't want to have kingdoms to rule. They don't even want wealth and comforts. They just want their worldly lower pleasures. And for that sake they work, and when they fulfill that, they don't work. That is what is the Shudra thinking. So people were classified. Shri Krishna says, Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha. Krishna says, God only has created these 4 type of people. They have 4 kinds of aptitudes. The intellectuals, the tradesmen, the governors, rulers, and the workers, laborers. Because they just labor only so much as is needed, after they don't do. So these are the 4 categories of people. So he says, you are none of these, na vipra adhiko. Vipra means Brahmin, the intellectuals, because right now Janaka is behaving like a intellectual, though he is a king. He wants knowledge. He doesn't want kingdom and governance and rule. He is asking for knowledge. So he says, you are not the knowledge-seeking Brahmana, etc. Adi means other things like Kshatriya or Shudra or Vaishya. None of these you are. You are beyond all this. These are all your attitudes, but you are not any of them. This is called Varnashrama. Then it says, na ashrami. Then we have 4 ashrama dharmas are also there. Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. What is Brahmacharya? The student life. In the beginning stage of our life. Then Grihastha, the householder's life. Then comes Vanaprastha, the life of a social servant, I call it, because they are staying now away from the family, but nevertheless they are working for the welfare of the society. And sannyasi, the finally renunciate, who has given up even the social work and only withdrawn to within himself. These are the 4 dharmas we have to follow. All should follow, they say. I generally say if you are 100 years of life, first 25 years you are a student, next 25 years you are a householder, next 25 years you are a servant, and last 25 years you are a renunciate. It applies for both men and women. Don't think that women are exempted. No. Or Brahmanas are only supposed to do, the Kshatriyas are exempted. No, all are allowed. All are allowed to follow this. There is no this thing like you cannot or you can. So he says, you are none of these 4 categories of people, because right now king is a householder, Janaka is a householder. He says, don't identify yourself with these also. That is also not you. Na akshagocharaha. Not even those things that are seen with your eyes. Like you can see your body, you can see your face, you can see your physical, whatever persona. What you can see with your eyes, that is also not you. So if you identify yourself as a body with a name, which is now the king and the householder, none of this is you. And this applies to every one of us. Now you are a teacher, so you are not the teacher with this body and the name and this brahmacharya ashrama that you are following. None of this is you. Like that, he is once for all in general clarifying that yes, we fall in these categories as a part of our living, but we don't get identified with them. We are beyond these. At this point in time, yes, you are a student, you are a householder, you are a renunciate, but does not mean you are that. You are behind that, beyond that. So he says, all that which is seen is also not you. Asangosi nirakara. What a beautiful, this asanga word is very deep for me. Asanga means unattached. Sangha means some attachment. Unattached you are. Means you will say, Arey, I am supposed to be a student. I should be attached to my studies. I should be attached to my knowledge, seeking knowledge and whatever I need to do. Yes, you are, but you are supposed to remain unattached even while you are all that. I am a householder. I am a businessman. I must look after my business and my family. Yes, you must look after, but say unattached, he says. Unattached is the word. Asanga is the word. Adi Shankaracharya has composed one, the Brahma Gyanavalli Mala. Starts asangoham, 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 punah punaha. He says, starting in asangoham, I am unattached, I am unattached, I am unattached. Again and again I repeat it to myself that I am unattached. Shankaracharya starts the stotram like that. Satchidananda rupoham. I am the very embodiment of truth, goodness and beauty or bliss. That is my true nature. All these categories of student, householder or retired or renunciate, none of this is me. Or intellectual or a tradesman or whatever other powerful ruler or just a laborer, none of this is me. I know I am doing some of this, but actually this is not me. What is my true nature? Sat, Chit, Ananda. It says Sat means truth, Chit means awareness, Ananda means joy. Truth, awareness and joy is my true nature. Adi Shankaracharya says. So same thing is saying, Asangosi. You are unattached. You can never be trapped by these. You can never be stuck in these. You can never get entangled in these. Your nature is far beyond. It is free. It appears to be bound. Like this space appears to be bound within this hall. When you come here, if you had come here 10 years ago, there was a football ground here. Then we built this hall. Now it is called Premamrutham Hall. If I tell you you are all sitting in a football ground, how many of you will believe? You will say, no, we are sitting in Premamrutham Hall. Why? Because now the space called football ground has been modified and bound within the walls of Premamrutham. It has achieved a new identity. Once the space was football ground, now the space is Premamrutham. Tomorrow if I demolish it and build something else, it will become that. Space is not bound. Appears to be bound as Premamrutham Hall or as football ground or as whatever. But truth is what? Is space bound? No. Space is space. Break the wall, space is free. We think space is been bound because we built walls around it. No. Likewise, you are Asanga. Even if you are Brahmachari, you are Asanga. Even if you are Kshatriya, you are Asanga. You are free. It appears that you are bound within these categories or within these qualities or attributes or aspects of your life, but you have always been free. That is the nature of yourself. Asanga. See. And when can that happen? When can you be free? Nirakaro. You have no form, he says. Consciousness has no form. Like electricity has no particular quality or form. When it becomes light, because it interacts with the bulbs, it is known as light. That's it. Or a fan, it is known as breeze. Or sound when it is interacting with the mic. But left to itself, it has no particular form. What is the form of electricity? Is it the form of a mic? Or is it the form of that fan? Or is it the form of the bulb? Or is it the form of the wires? The cables? No. They are all conduits that are carrying electricity. But electricity has no shape, no size, no form. Likewise, the self, the awareness that we are talking about has no particular form. It is the same self which is in all of us. When Bhagavan, you say, you and I are one, we will all clap. Because we think somehow Bhagavan has elevated us to his level. No, no. He neither elevated himself, us, nor he has brought himself down to our level. He just means that the consciousness that permeates all of us is the same, which are without any name, form, gender, nothing. That is where he says we are one. Otherwise, physically, we are different. So that is the idea of Nirakaro. You don't have a form. Janaka would say, I have a form, I'm an old man with this name, this age, this size, this. None of this is you, he says. The real consciousness alone is you. Vishwasakshi, you are the witness to the whole world. You are not the world or things in it. You are the witness that is witnessing everything around you. You witness the sunrise, sunsets. You witness emotions of joy and sorrow. You witness achievements and failures. You witness us and them. But you are just witnessing all of it. None of this is you. You don't get entangled. Knowing this, Sukhi Bhava, become happy. The moment we get stuck or attached or entangled, that is when we are miserable. And what makes us miserable? Our wrong identification or wrong desires. Identification that I am the mother of so and so, now that fellow better listen to me. Problems start from there. That is how everything begins in life. Attachment or wrong identification. And then that, like the story of that cub is there, lion cub, lost in the flock of sheep, living a fearful life till he sees a lion and realizes that he is lion and not a sheep, and he's free. So where was this fear from? Was he bound? He was always the lion, right? But he was afraid like a sheep. Why? Because he imagined himself to be a sheep. Like as we imagine ourselves to be the bodies which have certain name, form, and certain roles to play and certain things to do, we think we are all that, and that's why we are stuck and we are miserable or behave according to whatever the roles are. But the moment, these are just roles, you are the actor inside. You are not the actor outside. In the sense, you are not the role that you are playing. Immediately there is a sense of freedom and happiness. When you are sleeping sometimes, you get nightmares. You get nightmares? What is the nightmare? Chemistry exam was nightmare for me. Or some school exam which had happened 10 years ago, but still somewhere deep in subconscious, that trauma of it. I used to get dreams like that, when I was even in university, that I'm in school. I would have forgotten in the dream that I have already graduated and that it is over. Some traumatic teacher of the school, especially maths. I'll be seeing the exam, I'm writing the exam, then the teacher is coming, he's staring at my paper, and I'm not able to write, my hands are frozen. That formula is not coming out. Suddenly my pen has stopped working. You get traumatized. And then suddenly Suprabhatam bell rings, you wake up with a startle. And first thing you do is, thank God, that was a dream. I thought it was real. What a relief that is, isn't it? What a relief. Because you're living in some false idea. What a relief that it was not true. The same thing applies on the other side also. You are having a very happy dream. Let us say you won a lottery. You're getting $1 million jackpot. And you're about to go to the bank and encash it, suddenly Supravatam bell rings. And in your dream, you have already imagined of you bought a house and you bought a car and you got things done for your parents and you put a lot of money in the account and also maybe donated a few dollars here and there. And suddenly the Supravatam bell rings and all this is over. Then you wake up disappointed. Well, 5 more minutes, I would have been a millionaire. Isn't it? But is that true is the question. Is the joy that you experience of winning a lottery or the fear that you experience of writing that traumatic mathematics exam again, both were not real, right? But because you forgot, you were stuck there, it felt like real. So then you need somebody to wake you up and say, wake up. Uttishtata, Jagrata. That is why gurus come to wake you up from that idea of wrong identification. You are identifying yourself wrongly and that's why you are miserable. That's why sukha is not there. That's why shanti is not there for you. So a guru's plight is he sees, Ayyo, why is he suffering unnecessarily? Why is he suffering unnecessarily? Why is she suffering unnecessarily? Feels bad for them. Having experienced freedom, when he sees somebody who is stuck in an imaginary cage of his or her own, he feels bad for them. He says, I want to redeem you from your misery and suffering because you are unnecessarily suffering. It's totally avoidable. In fact, it is not even real. You are imagining and suffering. So he tries to help you come out of it and so that you can also be happy and peaceful. But people don't agree. They don't believe the guru. They say, no, what you're telling is not true. What I experience is true. What can I tell to them then? I cannot tell anything to them. If a child argues with the teacher, you're telling earth is always revolving around the sun. Where? Earth is steady. Sun is the one which is going around. The teacher will say, yes, that's true. It appears so. It appears that sun is rising from the east and setting in the west and it goes around the earth. But the truth is, earth is the one which is going around the sun. While it's rotating, it's also revolving. Nowhere. It's all steady. I woke up like this, I'm still like this only. I didn't turn to this side. While sleeping, a lot of children do that. They turn to the other side. They start on their bed, end up in neighbor's bed. They keep rotating, revolving. Prayer time also I've seen many people. They'll be fully eyes closed, they will not open the eyes. So they'll lose the sense of direction and they'll turn, they think they are not in the straight line. They'll shift a little right, then little right. By the time prayer is over, they'll be totally on the opposite direction. This used to happen in schools also, I've seen that. So the children argue. No, I don't believe you, teacher. Why I don't believe you? Because I don't experience it with my senses. I see sun moving and earth steady. So I will not agree to what you are saying. You are lying to me. The teacher is at his wit's end. He doesn't know how to help the child. The only way he can help the child is the child develops faith in him. Knowing that Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya Satya Buddhyavadarani Shraddha. I must believe my teacher because he knows more than me, he has seen more than me, he has experienced more than me. To my senses it may not appear so, but to my Guru, as an experienced reality, he knows. So I must first place my trust in the Guru and believe what he is saying, and then slowly I will experience. So that same child from class 5th grows up, goes to 10th, 12th, and develops interest in all these things. He learns for himself. Yes, what my teacher said was right. So sometimes you cannot experience this idea of consciousness that you are not the body, you are not the categories of people that you are. You are not the various attributes and qualities and emotions. You are beyond all these things. When I say, it is impossible to believe. Because I don't experience that, you will say. What I experience is the body. If it hurts, it hurts. What I experience is the mind. If it is disturbed, it is disturbed. What I experience is emotions. And I go through it every day. This is my reality. This is my truth. I don't understand this consciousness which is beyond all this and always steady and peaceful like the inside of the stone. And I don't understand, so I don't believe in it. The moment you say that, your journey ends there. That's why faith and Shraddha has been put as the first pre-qualification to start on this path. You haven't seen it, but you listen to somebody who has seen it. And you believe in that somebody who has seen it. And then you try to follow the steps that he tells you. If you want to experience this, do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you will also experience it. This is what Ashtavakra is telling Janaka. Janaka is very faithful. He believes in Ashtavakra because Ashtavakra is not doing anything for any selfish sake. He's doing it for the welfare of Janaka. And that is the beauty of this scripture, because it will go on teaching you this. It is just the beginning. Imagine we are just 5 shlokas. All the essence of everything, all Advaita is in this. First chapter, 5 shlokas, you know everything about what our spirituality teaches. Then you can only imagine what the rest of the book is going to be like. More or less it is a repetition of these thoughts, but in so many beautiful ways. So that in some way or the other it appeals to us. In the old times, like Narasimhamurthy was saying, children used to be told, these many times you chant Ramanama, these many times you write Namasmarna, these many times you chant Gayatri Mantra, 108 times, and people will take pride. How many times you chanted? 21 times. I chanted 108 times. They'll take this foolish pride. The children do that. How many Namasmarnas, Om Shri Sai Ram you have written? 3 pages. I have written 5 pages. How many Yatras you have gone? How many temples you visited? 6. Oh, I have gone to 15. People take pride in doing these silly things. But why was it given in the first place? Because our mind has to change its track from going towards the world, at least doing something better. That's the idea. So these numbers were not really there might be some science behind it, that you do certain number of things, certain number of times, it becomes a habit, they say, right? So maybe that is the science behind it. But the truth is, the idea was that take your mind away from all the other worldly things and put it on something better. Let it develop some focus and concentration. That was the reason. And second, 100 times you chant, at least one time you might chant it right. And that one time may redeem you. Once at least you chant it correctly. Whole life you are chanting it all wrong. What's the point, he says. But nevertheless, given 100 times you chant, one time you will get it right. Hopefully that will be your redemption. So like that, our rishis were very clever and compassionate to give us some kind of rituals. But we should not get stuck in that. Because that becomes the ego then. I have done so much more than the others. I have done so much seva. I donated more than the others and things like that. That is all nonsense. At the end, if it's not redeeming you, what's the point? What's the point of doing everything? Shankaracharya in Vivek Chudamani so many times he says, Vadantu shastrani, kurvantu karmani, yajantu devata, do whatever you want. Atma ikya bodhena api mukti, na siddhyati brahma shadantarepi. Ultimately, if you have not realized yourself, there is no moksha for you. Go to as many pilgrimages, run behind as many gods, read as many scriptures, doesn't matter. At the end, you don't realize it because you have not realized it, simple as that. For realization, this path is required. Path of analysis, self-analysis, and continuous discrimination and detachment. Staying steady by practicing the virtues of control of mind and senses, forbearance, patience in this path. The path of withdrawal, the path of faith, the path of equanimity, and the path of burning desire to know the truth, at the exclusion of everything else in life. That kind of path this is. That's why it's called Shurasya Dhara, because it is against the normal way of living. So not many takers for it, such a path. Manushyani sahastreshu kaschid yatasiddhayesh. Krishna says out of thousands of people, a few people strive for this path. Yatatam api siddhanam kaschid maam veti tattvataha. Out of those who put efforts on this path, which are already very few, some few, even lesser number of people, maybe 1 or 2 achieved it. So it's not given to everybody to just achieve it like that, because these are the pre-qualifications. Now tell me, how many of us have that burning desire to know God? Desire to know God is there. Maybe very intense desire to know God is there on certain days. But burning desire, as if your body is on fire, you cannot rest unless you realize God. That kind of mumukshutva, where it is there. So how do we develop that kind of mumukshutva? Again, Adi Shankaracharya, satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam. Be in the good company of people who desire for God. Don't be in the company of worldly people. Run away from bad company. That is the best way to start on this journey. And you are so lucky, all of you are in the company of people who have at least desire for God, maybe at different intensities. But they have desire for God. That itself is a great achievement, isn't it? How many people can claim that? I've seen, I was abroad, people are telling with tears, Swamiji, I want to take our children to satsanga, we want to take, but there is no group here. Where to take them? How to help them? We are clueless. In India, every house there is satsanga. Every street there is a temple. Everywhere there is good work is going on. Here, nobody. So difficult to get our children to get aligned. Get ourselves also remain aligned is so difficult. I said, yes, That is why India is a Punya Bhumi, full of spirituality. Everybody knows God here. From an auto rickshaw driver to a vegetable vendor to a sweeper to a doctor, everybody knows God exists. May not be having that burning desire to know God yet. But if they stay in each other's company long enough, listen to these kind of shrutis long enough, and be blessed by a guru, Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Samshraya, if they get all the three, they may have developed that desire. That will redeem you. That will redeem you. And thing is that after that, it's not like you run away. See, Janaka also at some point in time will realize self. And like Rama, he would also tell Ashtavakra, I don't want to rule the kingdom, redeem me. I want to voluntarily retire and do only meditation. Ashtavakra said, no. Till now you needed the kingdom. Now your kingdom needs you. So be the king still. The attitude will change after Ashtavakra. Nothing will change. Don't go and shave off your head and change to ochre and don't do all that nonsense. I'm dead against all that external exhibitionism. Be internally divine, that's all is required. This is a costume, it's a makeup. You do what is required for that. Don't overtly express your spirituality, write it on the walls and declare it from the mountaintop. No, none of this nonsense is required. Just be yourself, but be with the right attitude. That is the most important gift of Ashtavakra. Janaka does not stop being a king after reading Ashtavakra. But he now is a king with a different attitude. He is a king for the sake of people. No more attached to his kingship, no more desires of any power or expanding his territories or increasing his treasury. None of this is anymore existing in his mind. That is the end result of Ashtavakra Gita. We also should benefit like that. We continue to be the students, the teachers, the staff, the devotees, the men, the women, the volunteers, whatever we are. But we become better. Why? Because our attitude has changed. The desires, selfish desires have disappeared. Selfless desires are there. That's still okay. And all the time we are conscious that we are not just this body and the mind with which we associate, but we are the self within, which is free, like the space, which appears to be bound, but it is free. Like the electricity, which appears to be stuck in the fan, but it is free. It's always flowing. It's never stuck. It's never stagnant. That kind of freedom will come to you at the end of it. That is what these people who come from abroad, these spiritual teachers are there, they ask me, how is it possible? How do you even, yesterday somebody asked me, how do you even rest and relax with all this going on around you? It's like a battlefield, you're in the middle of the battlefield, you're doing meditation, that is how it is. How are you able to sleep? I said, I do not know. If I was the doer, then I am the enjoyer or the sufferer. But that feeling is not that I am the doer. So how will I suffer? It's being done. We are just instrumenting it. Yes, instruments also will need a little rest and repairs, which is fine. It's a part of life, we do that. But the burden, mental burden of carrying all this, I'm doing it and all this is because of me, and if I am not, then nothing will happen. That nonsense idea never gets into my head because I know the truth. I know the truth. That is the freedom that comes with the truth. And imagine what fearlessness. You're not afraid of what you're doing. Everybody is afraid who's watching me, especially those who are coming from outside. They're saying, I don't know what you're doing. It is so scary what you're doing. It's nice, but it's very scary. What amount of responsibility? Everything is free, is it? How? How long? As long as the divine wills. They find this answer very irrational, very irresponsible answer, they think. But I can tell you that is the truth. There is no other truth. Well, I have to hold the reins and still make sure that things happen as they, because that's a part of my duty. But does that start growing on me and do I suffer under its weight? No. That doesn't happen. So this is the idea, this freedom and fearlessness, this courage and this capacity, all this comes from knowledge of the self. Without that, we could not have done this. If you had asked me, could you have done this before 2019? No. I was only able to do so much. Whatever my guru tells, just do that much and keep quiet. No initiatives taken for anything beyond that. After that, everything changed. Look at the way things have transformed. Is it even the place that we came here to 10 years ago? No more. Are we the same people who were 10 years ago? No. Everything has transformed because fearlessness and the courage that comes from spiritual knowledge has transformed everything. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid of failure. If somebody is not afraid of death, somebody is not afraid of failure, How can you stop such a person? Or who has no personal interest? How can you stop such a person? You cannot stop. It's infinite for him. It's eternity. That is the secret behind all that which is happening. And imagine if you also, some of you at least become like this. The whole world will be transformed. But our fears come because we are identified with the body. What if somebody scolds me? What if somebody accuses me? Get a bad name? So many things goes on. What if I lose what I have? What if I give up? What will have my future? My. That is what is the reason why we don't grow beyond this. Once we discard that, suddenly there is an explosion of freedom inside you, and that spreads to everybody around you. That is the beauty of spirituality, and you must strive for it. That is my whole effort. Must practice it. Little efforts will take to calm your mind down. But I said these 2-3 things you do. One, don't look after your body too much. What is needed, you do that. Don't over pamper your bodies. Don't give it into all its demands. Have some restraint over there. And the mind, sort out your thoughts, discard unnecessary ones, keep the good ones, and then stick to that. And that also will reduce over a period of time, because a Jnani's mind is always thoughtless. Everything flows. Everything flows for the Jnani. It's coming from elsewhere. The source is elsewhere. Like the mic is not speaking. The source is here, mic is only a conduit. Likewise, you become a conduit of divinity. You don't have to wake up and think, what about tomorrow, how to do tomorrow, how not to do tomorrow. Everything will flow through you. You think we can even conceptualize these kind of projects and these kind of programs? We can't. It's divinely flowing, so it is flowing. And as long as it is flowing, I have no enjoyership, no doership, no sufferership, nothing. So it is fine. And as I said, I don't even have a memory of it. Why? Because it is not mine. It is borrowed from God and returned back to God. So that mind and body should develop this instrumentation at the end of it, while you witness everything as a consciousness. It is very practical, very useful, very easy. Finally, if you get this right, whole life is going to be very easy. Very happy life, free life you live, and also a life of great achievement and success. Don't have to run away from anywhere, forests or whatever. Live here, live happily, make everybody live happily. That is the boon of Ashtavakra Gita, or any spiritual scripture for that matter. And this is our great fortune that we are getting this much time. I personally want to thank all the people who have organized this, to get all the people in Muddenahalli, who arrange their accommodation, food, also their studies in between. You also have classes, so that, and I'm very happy that we could do that, because this won't happen again and again. This is once in a lifetime kind of an event. So enjoy it, and Nididhyasana, practice is the most important. If you get doubts or something, every week, one day I will spend clearing such doubts. And then next week's practice will take it up. All right? Okay.
सर्वसुगुणसिन्धवे सकलसुजनबन्धवे सर्वसुगुणसिन्धवे सकलसुजनबन्धवे गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् दीनदुःखितपोषकाय दानधर्मप्रेरकाय दीनदुःखितपोषकाय दानधर्मप्रेरकाय सर्वलोकहितरकाय सर्वमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय ब्रह्मज्ञानबोधकाय दिव्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सदय हृदयराजिताय सुमनसदनशङ्कराय हृदयराजिताय सुमनसदनशङ्कराय शरणमुक्तिकारणाय मोक्षमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सत्यसायिनप्रियाय सत्यप्रेमविग्रहाय सत्यसाय नः प्रिया सत्यप्रेम विग्रहा नित्यशुद्ध निर्मलाय नित्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्तजना संरक्षक भक्तजना संरक्षक भक्तिवनीश्वर ॐ जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रितकल्पनटीका आश्रितकल्पनटीका आपद्बान्धवा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मातपिता गुरुदैवं पर्यन्तयुनीवे स्वामी पर्यन्तयुनीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नागेन्द्राशयन ॐ जय जगदीश ओंकाररूप ओजस्विनु साई महादेव सद्गुरु साई महादेव मंगलहारति ఎందుకో मंगलहारति ఎందుకో मंदरगिरिधारी ॐ जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण 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 ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण 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 ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण 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 सत्यनारायण नारायण सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय बोलो सद्गुरु श्री मधुसूदन साई जी की जय